dead, Jim.
Come to our funeral for a franchise, Star Trek. That's Wednesday, December 17th. Tomorrow, noon Pacific time, an all-day global event. Post your eulogy with hashtag Star Trek funeral, hashtag Star Trek today. Star Trek is dead. Today on the show, a very special episode, an emergency episode of Hollywood on the Rocks. We're going to review Avatar, Fire and Ash, plus Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day. The teaser trailer just dropped. So let's go. Let's start the show and let's get Alan here. Come on. I know he's here, so let's go.
Alan!
Hey, man. How's it going?
Can't get over that old picture of me.
Yeah, I love that picture. And I want to say a couple morning, y'all, from Darth Yeager, saying hi to people. Bill S. Preston, Esquire, 69, says R.I.P. to Bob and Michelle Reiner. Tragedy can strike anyone. Hug your kids. Call your parents. Yeah. I've gone down a rabbit hole reading articles, watching videos of Rob Reiner and his son Nick, mainly about the film they made together. It's just tragic.
Yeah.
We might talk about that.
You also went down the rabbit hole of reading the comments.
Yeah, that was not a good idea. Just it's not good. It's not good.
No one wins.
Yeah, but we have a lot to do today before we because the embargo has lifted for Avatar, Fire and Ash. So we will do a review. We will not do spoilers today. We'll talk spoilers on Friday once others have had a chance to see the movie. So the non-spoiler review of the film, and Alan and I will give our scores. But right now, Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day, we just even learned what the title of the movie is, has dropped. It's a teaser. I've already seen it. Alan, you have not.
I have not.
We're gonna watch it together. I have thoughts. I'll save it for after. But Steven Spielberg has this is almost, you could say, between Close Encounters and E.T. This might be a third movie in a trilogy about life on other worlds, aliens, are we alone in the galaxy? And of course, the trailer is a teaser. It's mysterious. Let's watch. Opens in June, in summer 2026. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, creepy as hell. And then that last scene, he couldn't get a real moose to do that. I mean,
the digital animals is concerning.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, it's look, this
is Steven Spielberg we're talking about.
I know. I mean, maybe it's early, it's not finished, whatever, but my God, in what Jurassic Park, the original was 92?
Yeah. Still the best CG movie ever made.
That CG, we haven't improved in 30 years.
Yeah.
CG, like more than 30 years, we can't make it better. Like those
Lord of the Rings, the only other movie to use CG right.
So that's concerning to me. It's all mystery box at this point, so who knows? And this is look, maybe this movie is some sort of way of saying there may be an actual disclosure coming. What would that look like? How would it impact religion, science? It would, upend everything we think we know about the universe. I just don't. It reminds me of the the sequence in Close Encounters, when what's the character's name? Roy Neary, played by Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Something is bothering them. This means something. This
Right.
shape, like it's embedded in his head. He doesn't know what it is or
Yeah,
what
there are
the
like
purpose.
6 or 7 or a dozen people who get the same
There are dozens of
premonitions.
people,
Yeah.
and they get this weird. They have an encounter, and this idea is kind of in their head. They know they have to do something. They don't know why. It feels like that sequence with people
Yeah.
being chased and intrigue, but leading to what? Disclosure Day. So,
But it's
we'll
interesting
see.
because in Close Encounters, it's more of a, a happy connection between us and aliens.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, do you count War of the Worlds as the 3rd Alien movie, and then this would be the 4th one?
No, it's a remake. Or a remake or a
Right.
reimagining of the original
But I find
H2O.
this one as kind of the dark turn evolution off of Close Encounters and
Uh,
ET for that matter.
maybe look, it's Spielberg back to form in genre.
Mhm.
I think I did not like West Side Story at all. I'm sorry.
I loved it.
I did not. I like the original. I did not like West Side Story. I liked the Fablemans, but only because of the inside baseball stuff about
Yeah.
Spielberg wanting to be a filmmaker and kind of discovering the language of movies and being so passionate about that. I like movies about filmmaking, but
Mhm.
that's a narrow audience.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I think Spielberg hasn't had a real success in a long time, and this is back to form. We'll see. Let's go to your comments.
Yeah.
See what you guys have.
Just saying, it feels like Spielberg. I think that's
It feels like Spielberg.
Lord Khan for 2. Here's Comet's disclosure. Pass on this one. Not a fan.
Oh, I'm gonna see it. It's Spielberg. Come on.
Well, and plus it's our job. Marco CCS, Pluribus meets Signs.
Yeah, I got those vibes.
LJ Films, this looks daft as us Brits say. I think we are jaded. We have become jaded when it comes to movies nowadays. Garth Knight Returns. It's the sequel to Signs. Swing away.
Maybe it's got elements of that.
Mhm. Bill S. Preston Esquire. At least this time, Spielberg is explicitly making it about aliens.
Yeah.
Is that a Indiana Jones? Sons and Shadows cast. Oh my God, guns, not walkie-talkies.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, and one last thing before we get to our review, a reminder: support us and buy something at shop.filmthreat.com. We have our Final Frontier collection. This is merch related to the Star Trek funeral. I'm getting this mug. I like mugs. I love coffee mugs. I'm getting a mug. We do have shirts in all your favorite colors: command gold, science officers in blue, of course, engineers in no, is it engineers are in red?
No.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to remember. What did Jordy wear?
I
Jordy's gold, isn't it?
No,
Science
red.
engineers are gold.
No.
Military
Command
is red.
gold. Command is gold, science is blue, engineers and security are red. You know what? They
Okay,
mixed it all
engineers.
up. This
Well, I'm
is
getting
the original series. All right, fine.
Yep.
Look,
Yes.
no matter what I say or you say, the chat will correct us.
I know.
But also our papyrus collection. That's right. For you Avatar heads out there. What do they call Avatar fans? Avatar heads? I think
Avatars.
do not say that. We have shirts in blue with the papyrus. Get your True Royal shirt in the papyrus font. So there you go. Go to shop.filmthread.com. There you go, Alan. Okay. It's time. James Cameron's Avatar Fire and Ash opens this week. This is the third film in the series. And let me just say before we start, I'm not an Avatar hater. I actually really enjoyed the first film. It's sort of science fantasy that you would imagine on some pulp 1950s magazine with those covers painted of you know faraway planet, a completely different environment and world. The concept of you know uh, transporting your mind into a, a, a native that can walk and breathe the air on that world was compelling. We're introduced to Jake Sully, who was in a wheelchair, but then found the ability to be able to walk and live again as a Na'vi, native to the world of Pandora, a world now being plundered for its resources for a dying Earth. And the first film was great sci-fi and action and introduced the concept. We met the Na'vi people, and effectively, for me, I recognized that the first Avatar was beat for beat Dune. It is Dune. It is a foreign invader basically bonding with the native people, in this case the Na'vi, in the case of Dune the Fremen. The world's being plundered. He then learns their ways, becomes, and then repels the invaders. It's also the hero's journey, you know. It's a perfect telling of the hero's journey. Jake Sully has to conquer the great dragon and conquer it and ride the dragon. In Dune, of course, Paul Atreides has to conquer and ride the sandworm, and they both achieve that goal, earn the respect of the native people, become a leader, and conquer. That was the first movie. The second movie continues the story of the Sully family. Now Jake Sully and Neytiri are a couple. They've raised kids, and I give it credit for positive portrayal of a father figure we almost never see in any form of media, film or TV or anywhere. It's really more geared towards kids, but with the focus of the story more on the children. And Way of Water progressed the story. We saw Quaritch, his mind having been defeated in the first Avatar. The data of his full mind was transferred into a Na'vi, and now he's on the hunt for Jake Sully, the evil humans that are plundering the planet and hunting the whales of the planet, who are sentient and compose songs and symphonies. They're intelligent beings, and of course they meet the water people, who then repel these invaders. And now we're at Fire and Ash, the third film. I hoped it would progress the story. What is the story for Fire and Ash, Alan?
All right. Well, it takes place right after actually the events of the Way of Water. The Sullys, they lost their oldest son. And there's Neytiri is still kind of reeling from that. She's very depressed. Jake and and the human forces, they're becoming more powerful than ever. And the key here is that, you know, because you can't breathe, humans can't breathe on the planet on Pandora, that they need to figure out a way to do it. And something happens with Spider that allows him to breathe, and they're going to basically dissect him and research him in order to hopefully allow humans to come. In the meantime, Awa, the tree of life, the tree that gives the life force, she is alive and well. But when Quaritch goes after the family, they leave, and they run into the fire people, the ash people, and they do not believe in Awa. It's not that they don't believe in Awa, but they don't believe that she cares really about them. And now the interesting spin here now is it's basically the same conflict as the last story, but here we've got a clan of Na'vi who want to take down the Sully family and basically take down everything. And an interesting relationship between them and Quaritch appears, and that's kind of how this plays out. The two key characters in the film, I believe, are Kiri, played by Sigourney Weaver, and then Spider, played by Jack Champion. They're kind of the linchpin to what's going to happen in this story, and that's what you'll find out when you see the movie.
Yeah, well, this character of Varang, we've seen her in all the
Mm-hmm.
marketing. She's the leader of the Fire and Ash people.
The Ash people.
It's basically her and a bunch of male Na'vi, and they have rejected God. They've rejected Awa, and they've gone full native and full, and they're supplied weapons by Quaritch, who teaches them how these guns and other weapons work. And so Quaritch has enlisted the aid of Varang in defeating Jake Sully and his family. Okay, let's get into it. This is a movie for children. This is Swiss Family Na'vi or Swiss Family Pandora. It's so much for, the first movie was solid sci-fi, great action, and you could have ended it there. The second movie was a family adventure. This is even more for little kids. It's so simple-minded in terms of, the humans are bad, the Na'vi are good, but there are some bad Na'vi, or at least Na'vi that are at odds.
And there's a good human too.
Yeah, there are a few good humans here and there, but they're few and far between. It very much felt like a Western flipped on its head, where the Indians are the good guys and the cowboys are the bad guys. That's it. It felt so like, the first Avatar film, everything felt alien. In this, it feels too familiar. And by that, I mean too earthbound, in the sense that the Na'vi are Indians. They put on makeup, they wear feather and headdresses. They've just gone full, like, this is just swapping out. It's just like tropes from Westerns. And I felt that the kid characters, I never remember their names. They're so forgettable. But the most disappointing thing about this movie is that it doesn't advance any story whatsoever. The one element that's interesting is Spider.
Yeah.
The character, he's a human that, in a incredibly dumb way, I won't say what, in an incredibly dumb way, is able to, he
can breathe.
Nearly dies. He nearly dies because he's just an irresponsible kid. He forgets his air pack. He wants to be with the family. And he nearly dies and is reincarnated or brought back to life with the ability to breathe the air on Pandora, which makes him incredibly important, because they want to backwards engineer that to figure out, to give all Earthlings the ability to breathe.
To finally be able to take over the planet, the Earthlings have to be able to breathe, and Spider becomes the key into figuring out how humans can breathe on Pandora.
He's the key. And the boring thing, this movie is 3 hours and 17 minutes, and it has less story than the other two movies combined. You did not need to make this. What I had hoped for was that there would be some progression of the story. Like let's say that Earth is dying. They're going to resettle everyone on Earth on Pandora. We need Spider to be able to backwards engineer his ability to breathe, but from a science fiction, and we've never seen Earth. We've never seen Earth in this series, and you don't see. And the worst part is, without spoiling anything, is the movie ends where it begins. Nothing progresses in the story. They even brought back, you've got Edie Falco plays General Ardmore, who is just a caricature. And then Giovanni Ribisi from the first movie returns as, his name is Parker Selfridge. I
Mhm.
only know this because I'm looking at the cast names right now on my screen. And even he seems at odds with the general over, like, we just want to plunder resources. We don't care about, we don't even want to go to war. We just want to plunder resources. And they have a battle in the movie that basically is like a repeat of the battle from the last movie. Nothing moves forward. It's it's simple-minded and for children. All the science fiction aspects I loved about the first movie are kind of thrown out the window. It doesn't progress in any way. It it's just really simple-minded and dumb. And most of the plot revolves around, we got separated, we got together. They kidnapped so and so, let's rescue them. No, so and so's kidnapped, we have to rescue them. On and on. It felt like an entire season of the Avatar TV show, and they edited the highlights of like 10 episodes into 1 3-hour block. Really disappointed. I'm not an Avatar hater. I like the first 2 movies. I did not like this one. It will gain no new fans. I cannot recommend it. And uh and the worst part is the story elements that are kind of hanging. I don't know that I actually really care, but they're unresolved. So if James Cameron doesn't make the second 2 movies in the planned 5-movie arc, you won't finish the story, but he didn't advance anything story-wise. Colossal disappointment for me. I can't believe I'm going to sit through it again, but I'm only doing that to see a certain trailer. But Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that I was kind of with you up until the last one. Look, the good thing about Avatar: Fire and Ash is it's not Empire Strikes Back, meaning it could
Right.
end here. And in terms of, I felt like they tied up most of the loose ends in this movie. And so, you know, yeah, and then, anything more I say is spoilers. I'll say that I did like it, but it is clearly the worst of the 3. Um, I liken this to Wicked for Good, because I love the second movie. The second movie because, the first movie did do kind of world building, but the second movie really built that world out. You got the sense that this is a big planet. And then the family elements, as you say, and it's true, because I remember the comments I was making with Way of Water, is that we haven't seen movies about a father who protects his family, who's the leader of the family, and that certainly continues here. The problem with this, and the reason I liken it to Wicked for Good, is that the second movie did such an incredible job of building this world and building this story, and this one just kind of continues it, and rather than, as you say, elevate the story, it kind of keeps it at the same level, if not go down. The final battle sequence is a pale comparison to the final battle sequence of the second movie.
Yes.
The things that happen here are lesser versions of the second movie. I think what I connected with and what I liked about the story was the idea of who is family, and it does revolve around the Kiri character and the Spider character, because the issues there are, well, Spider is not one of us, and so he's not really part of the family. And then you have Quaritch, who is, as you know, in the second film, is his father. Um, and they play around with that dynamic. Is Spider really Quaritch's family, or is he really Sully's family? And I thought that was the aspect that played out very well. Problem is you don't make a 3-hour movie about that plot point. Um, and I did find, what I liked about it also is the ash people. because it is different. It is a left turn in the story of Awa and this planet that everyone's interconnected with, and then now you have a crew that has rejected all that, and you play through kind of the religious tones. But so I would recommend the movie, particularly if you're a completionist and just need to get the third one out of the way. You're definitely going to feel like, well, it's not as good as the second one, but it wraps things up nicely. Um, but yeah, this is not one that I would say if you haven't seen the other two, you should see this one. No, you got to see the other two. Otherwise, um, actually, now that I rethink it, maybe you like this better having not seen the other two because you're not hung up on everything all the
Well,
lore you've brought into this point.
the thing is, this is what it lacks. It lacks like an advancement of an overall bigger story.
Yeah.
It's derivative of old westerns, including the Searchers.
Mhm.
There's like an element that's right out of the Searchers.
Right. But the thing is,
in the
people like
film,
westerns.
and it's what's that?
People like westerns, and this is
True.
certainly a western, and it's certainly that's why I'm not giving it a negative review at all. The only reason I think most people will dislike it is because it's not as good as the first two.
It's
Uh,
so derivative of the first two movies. It doesn't advance the story, and it
Mhm.
lacks any complexity or real science fiction ideas. Again, it's become a children's film. It's not, it's something that, you know what, kids will probably be bored. This movie could have easily been 2 hours and nothing would be lost story wise. The movie drags. The first third of the movie, because it happens directly after Way of Water, is just lamenting the death of the son from the
Mhm.
second film. And they're grieving. Now, I give them credit for it's not a meaningless or forgettable death, that it has some
Mhm.
impact. But what I liked about the second film is we catch up with the family years later. It was probably what, 15 years or more
Right.
since the first movie. So time
Yeah.
has passed, things are different, right? So like this could have used some time jump, but I'll just say it's so derivative of the first two movies. What I liked about both the first and second film is they introduced new elements. There are almost no new elements other than the story point that Spider can breathe on Pandora, and that becomes he's an important asset that must be acquired. But and Cameron, he does spectacle well. You're concerned. There are stakes, but the movie feels small. And for that reason, I got to give it, I got to now, just to be clear, if you're a fan of the first two, you might like this. I think it's 50
Mhm.
50 shot. I would give this a 5 out of 10. If I got to give a number rating, 5 out of 10. So it could go either way for you. If you're a fan, you'll you may or may not like it. If you're not a fan, don't bother.
Yeah.
Alan, do you have any final
I'll give
thoughts?
it a 6.5. Kids, uh, I'm not sure kids will dislike it. I think the emotional story of the one we didn't talk about was Loak, who basically Loak is the reason his older brother died, and that burden is carried on with Jake and Nateri and Loak himself, and that plays out. And then you have the spider thing. I think there's enough connection between the kids in the film that kids might like it. It'll be very interesting box office wise. I don't think. Let's see. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the opening weekend is like. And China certainly likes the Avatar series, and China blew up Zootopia. So,
Yeah, well,
this may make a lot of money. This weekend it might surprise us.
let me just say this. This is going to make a lot of money. Already, if you check theaters, the screenings are packed. They're like single seats here and there. It's packed, not just because people want to see the movie. I do think the a lot of new trailers are dropping and people
Mhm.
want to check in on the movies.
Yeah,
And
I'll tell you that you may be just talking about Burbank because I'm looking at theaters in my area and they're half full, maybe.
okay, That's
Mhm.
still better than normal. I
Yeah.
mean, so I think this movie will make a lot of money. It'll play through the holidays and into January. It's going to do very well.
Yeah. And
I
China will be a
don't
big factor.
and I don't know if we will ever see the 4th and 5th film, which is really I was hoping things would advance. My big disappointment is nothing advanced in the story. Um, any final comment before we go to
Yeah. I think the biggest one is this wraps it up. If it ends here, it's fine. You know, there's no I got no sense at the end of this movie that there was an urgent need to continue this story. But, you know, like a comic book, you could just write more episodes of this. So
let's go to your comments.
Future Boy OG for 5. I hate movies about movies or actors portraying actors. Watch Jay Kelly. Ruins all immersion. I'm constantly reminded I'm watching a movie. Narcissistic, lazy writing.
I disagree. I like documentaries about there's so many great documentaries about filmmaking. There's a movie called Hearts of Darkness about the making of Apocalypse Now. It is absolutely brilliant. And I like the inside baseball of movies about movie making. I like it.
Yeah. But I
So,
think this comment is more toward the Fablemans.
oh yeah, the Fablemans.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it
yeah,
felt that way. It
by the way,
definitely felt that way.
that movie bombed, by the way.
Yeah.
So I am alone. I, I'm in a minority of people who like that film. I know not a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
So respect the comment, but respectfully disagree.
Lord comment for 2. I'm rooting for humans and Earth, not the Smurfs.
Thanks, Lord
Aw.
comment.
Lord comment also for 2. You think kids will sit through 3 hours of avatars?
No, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, preteens and up.
Yeah. We'll go to some of your other comments, and some news stories have dropped. We may stay online and do some news stories, a couple of news stories, some big ones I want to get to have dropped. I'm gonna set those up while you read, Alan. Why don't you start from the top?
Hold on.
I gotta
Oh, okay. I thought you meant read the story highlights.
no. We'll
David B. It's time for Cameron to take his technology and do a new story. Doing the same thing over and over again is sort of lame.
Well, that's the problem. This movie just kind of rehashed things we've already seen, and it was a disappointment. So
at the same time, he spent $1 billion on the second one. You know,
right.
is he how motivated is he to recoup his costs and make a profit at some point?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, fortunately for this one, all the technology had already been built out. So he's spent less on this movie, but I'm sure he wants to make his money back.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, let me The Immortal Remus. I feel like Avatar should have stayed as a one standalone film. Yeah, I like the second. Introspect M. Took me years to see the first Avatar. Still haven't seen the second. I thought the first was decent sci-fi spectacle, good time killing, but I've never been compelled to see more or come back to it. To me, they feel like very different movies. The first one and the second one. Second one's about family. The first one is about this battle between the environment and corporations and business.
Yeah.
Youth Garth Knight returns. You went Avatar, man. Never go full Avatar.
Yes.
All right. Capital M Products. Avatar is 90% visuals and 10% story and dialogue.
You're right about that. It's all about the visuals. And I'll say this. They're not as good. They're not as good as the first two.
But quite frankly, I mean, when the second one came out, it was probably the best storytelling of the batch of films that came out that year.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, Laura Buckles, and probably now even. Laura Buckles, I only saw the first one, wasn't interested in the second one. The movie sounds all the same to me.
Yeah.
Again, I want to say they're two different movies. Hera's box office prediction after you guys watched it, I don't think it will hit 2 billion.
I don't either.
Well, yeah,
I would agree with that assessment.
but here's the thing. I didn't think Zootopia would hit 1 billion in 2 weeks.
Right.
All right. Sons and Shadows cast. If it's all about family, Fast and Furious 11 Avatarded. I believe I've created a new word.
Sure. I think I've heard that term before.
Have you? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, avatarded.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me see. I need more comments here.
If we're out of okay.
Yeah, we're out of comments, so.
Right. Okay, we went through all the comments. Thank you. We've got some breaking news stories have happened that would be of interest to our audience because we are doing the Star Trek funeral tomorrow. We won't be really doing any news, so we'll just be doing the funeral. So I've got 3 news stories we can go through really quickly here. And Alan, this is exciting news for me. Space Godzilla has been confirmed in Godzilla X Kong Supernova. This was sent to me by someone who follows the channel. Space Godzilla confirmed. Godzilla X Kong Supernova for 2027. If you're familiar with Space Godzilla, and finally, it's been confirmed. Space Godzilla has officially been licensed to Legendary for use in the MonsterVerse. It will appear as the main villain in Godzilla X Kong Supernova, discovered on a filing report on the Writers Guild official website under the working title Zeus, which is the secret name for Supernova. It reads that both Godzilla and Space Godzilla have been licensed from Toho. So that's confirmation. Get ready for merch. Get ready for an evil Space Godzilla and Godzilla and Kong taking on this monstrous beast. Alan, you're a Godzilla fan.
Am I?
Well, I mean,
no.
I would assume.
Well, I mean, I did go through and review a lot of the earlier Godzillas when the last one came out. But I don't know that I'd be a fan of Godzilla. I did like Godzilla -1. Why? Story. Story.
I am not a fan. Frankly, I'm not a fan of the MonsterVerse. I think these movies are especially the most recent was like a kid's film. Just felt more for kids. It bothers me about these series, and this is the problem with superhero movies now. They've lost any sense of seriousness or gravitas. Like I feel, for example, Chris Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy advanced the genre of superhero films because he took the character of Bruce Wayne Batman seriously. How would a billionaire be how would he fight crime? What tools and detective work would he do? And how would that work? And how would he keep his identity a secret? Well, he orders 10,000 bat ears from a place so that people would not be suspicious. Among other things, like I love that, like, The Dark Knight was a revelation. Batman Begins was amazing. And then The Dark Knight was a revelation, a great superhero movie. And everything about superhero films has gotten dumber and dumber. And I feel the MonsterVerse has done that. Godzilla -1, conversely, was a very serious story that dealt with Japan's reconstruction in the 40s and 50s. After World War II. It was really compelling. Godzilla was a force of nature, and the government was ineffective, and the people had to come together to defeat Godzilla. It's compelling, and I'm more excited for Godzilla -1 director, what he's gonna do with the Godzilla character in Godzilla -0. Is that what it's called? Godzilla -0. Like than what they're doing with the MonsterVerse, which is making
the Space Godzilla here.
Yeah, I'm not a big look. I would have liked to have seen. I would have preferred to see Rodan, and King Ghidorah, we did see them, and they weren't really used well, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're jumping the shark when we jump to Space Godzilla here. I'll tell you exactly why American Godzilla doesn't do as well as Japanese Godzilla.
Why?
Because the characters in Japanese Godzilla are normal people like you and me.
Right.
The Godzilla -1, it's a kamikaze pilot. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's not an exceptional pilot because he couldn't do his kamikaze business, but he's just a normal guy. We could see ourselves, we could be that guy. But then when you get to American Godzilla, let's start with the Matthew Broderick. It's not that we couldn't be Matthew Broderick's character, but those characters were, they made him comedic. They made him too light. And so therefore, any connection we have with that character is seen through the lens of comedy. In the reboot, yeah, you could probably relate more to Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen. But then when you get into the Bryan Cranston characters and all the other characters, these are just kind of elevated super scientists. And they're not us. None of us can be those people. And I think, when you look at the original Godzillas, when you look at Godzilla -1, it is because we're the ones who are in peril. We are the ones who are in danger. And that's why when it gets to googly-eyed Godzilla, it just that's when it broke me in the sense of I can't relate to this because now it's a comedy and it's not a serious movie.
In the last film, they brought in Baby Kong.
Yeah.
And we're not too far from Baby Godzilla. Minya, watch Godzilla's Revenge. But yeah, I'm not excited. I'm looking forward to the follow-up to Godzilla -1. Let's go to some comments, and then we've got 2 more news stories, and we'll wrap it up. Short show today.
Yes, Bill S. Preston Esquire. Alan, you like Godzilla and sushi and anime
and Simu Liu.
And Simu Liu, my best friend. Capital M Products. Godzilla doesn't need Kong as a sidekick. No, he doesn't.
Exactly.
Marco CCS. These Godzilla movies are going down the Transformers movie way.
Yes. Yeah, where they get increasingly ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
because we got Space Godzilla now. So there you go.
Yeah. So all right. 2 more news stories and we'll wrap it up for today. But you're not going to believe this. Let me get to this. Alan.
I don't believe it.
So I have friends in the Writers Guild. They send me things every once in a while. I learn something. And they tell me that the WGA is inept. The WGA is inept. They lost $122 million in 2 years. The WGA Health Fund lost $122 million in 2 years as negotiators aim to bridge gap. And my friend who sent me this, who I'm not going to reveal, this is from Variety, said a strike is incoming. He said they're setting up for a strike, and it's because of this. The WGA is inept.
That's the studio's fault? Is that what they're saying? That's why they're going on strike?
Let's just get let's read the first few paragraphs here, Alan, if you would.
All right. The Health Fund for the Writers Guild of America has taken a brutal hit in the last 2 years, losing $122 million as costs increase while work slows. Much of that decline is due to the 2023 strike, when planned contribution fell 31.5%, while health costs increased 5%, leading to a staggering $82 million deficit. But even after work resumed, the fund continued to lose money, racking up $40 million deficit in 2024, according to the latest tax return. The health plan is in dire finances, figured to be the cornerstone of WGA negotiations next spring.
Was it the health plan and its dire finances figured to be the cornerstone of WGA negotiations next spring? Negotiations or another strike?
Right, yeah.
Please continue.
Michelle Mulroney, the president of the WGA West, has already advised members that a focus will be boosting employer contributions. The last time the health plan was addressed in 2017, the union also agreed to increase member deductibles and reduce payments for out-of-pocket network care. The plan's finances are in much worse shape than they were then, suggesting it could be a lot harder to bridge the gap. The health inflation continues to get worse. According to recent Mercer surveys, employers anticipate a 6.7% increase in health costs in 2026, the highest rate in 15 years.
The friend who is a member of the WGA said there's a strike coming, and this sets up the reasons for the strike. This is going to further bring on AI. If there's another strike in light of their incompetence, AI is coming, folks. We did that story about Disney working with what is it, Sora?
Yeah,
Sora, so that UGC, user generated content, will be featured. The best, user made videos will be featured on Disney Plus. What does that remind you of? That's like YouTube or social media. People create content, and I wonder if they will actually pay the creators for the videos they plan to feature. They'll be able to vet it, and because at the end of the day, they own it, and consolidation will only make things worse. So I'm not surprised about this, but this basically seals it. I think we're going to see another strike next year, which is just going to bring on more AI, more UGC, as they call it. Alan, what is your perspective here?
Yeah, so let's frame this. Hey, producers, hey, Hollywood studios, we screwed up. We screwed up our health plan by 122 million. And if you don't cover that, we're going on strike.
It's so ridiculous.
I mean, look, you could technically buy the reasons the past strikes occurred, but I mean, the idea that a big organization like this, mismanagement and loses money. Why are we hearing this story over and over again? Look, the best thing I think the WGA could do is get Gavin Newsom to come in and help negotiate.
He would be great.
Yeah, he would be awesome. He will
so good for California.
I know. Yeah, I mean that would solidify his presidential run. Just come on, Gavin. Just come in and stand up for the writers and then tell the studios to go to hell, or at least go out of California.
Well, get ready for another strike.
Yeah.
Just as the industry next year, 2026, is turning out to be a banner year for Hollywood. So many big releases. No, I'm serious.
No, but then there'll be a strike at the end of that year.
And it's all gonna come just as they're recovering, it's all gonna crumble. So get ready, folks. Let's go to your comments.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Tampa, Florida loves Film Threat.
Thanks.
I would love to go to Tampa, Florida.
Well, I have a very good friend who's moving to Florida.
Yes, Jean Hu gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Thank you for that, Jean Hu. Appreciate it.
Davina Duckworth, why even pay into the WGA? I said that in the last strike.
Yeah.
What the WGA does not advocate for writers; they advocate for themselves.
My friend who's in the WGA, he became an independent producer to get away from their bad decision making.
Yeah. The nerd far away. The problem with unions is that eventually you run out of other people's money.
True.
All right. The Introspect M. A reduction in contributions should reduce the demand on the fund, so that shouldn't be a factor in not having enough money unless a lot of money is going to other things than contributor care. Yeah, that's the administrative bureaucracy. That's probably where the money is going.
Yeah, it's
and and also they're essentially blaming Trump, saying that because of his healthcare policies, rates are going to go up and health costs are going to go up. It's never their responsibility for having lost the 122 million in the first place. It's going to be someone else's, and Trump is the convenient excuse. Matthew Hammond, member for 21 months. Why do they even need Hollywood unions?
To make sure that they have base pay, and just certain rights. In terms
like affordable health care.
Yeah,
that's why they're there.
And certain pay, pay is defined. So, but it seems like they're doing a terrible job.
Yeah, good job, unions.
One last news story as we wrap up, and this is very sad. Yesterday we did a tribute to Rob Reiner, his tragic death at the hands of his son, and details are emerging about the fight that led to the murder. I'm going to bring it up here. This is from the New York Post. I'll share this with you, Alan. But it's they had a big fight at Conan O'Brien's. What the hell? All these inside Nick Reiner's fight at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party that left parents terrified before murders. Alan, if you would, and
you gotta blow that up.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. I'll do that. But one thing I want you to notice, we saw pictures of Nick when he was 22. He's in his 30s here. He looks terrible. He looks like someone
he aged.
And he looks like someone really struggling. So let's take a look at this story, Alan, if you would.
All right. Rob Reiner's drug-addicted son Nick hacked his beloved director, mom and dad Michelle, to death after a massive blow-up at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party Saturday, where the Nepo baby freaked out everyone and left Reiner terrified of what he would do next, Pal said. The trio reportedly ended up in a very loud argument, possibly because Nick was back on drugs and refusing yet another go at treatment after 17-year stint in rehab since age 15, sources told the Post. Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous, a source told People magazine. Is that it? The embarrassing bitter blowout occurred less than 24 hours before ne'er-do-well Nick allegedly slit his parents' throat and stabbed them multiple times in the family's LA mansion. They had an argument at Conan's holiday party, and Rob had been telling people that they're scared. I'm just repeating that. Scared for his mental state was deteriorating. Someone told the Post. Nick was supposedly off drugs and then talk surfaced that he was not so much off them, the neighbor said, explaining that all the accused killer's son's lowest point over the years, he was badly addicted to a combo of opiates and heroin.
I'll continue. Another friend of the family said, I know the parents wanted to get him help, go to rehab, but he wanted to get help while at home. He did not want to get treatment at a facility. And I know they have argued about that for years. Rob, 78, a beloved Hollywood legend. And then it goes on about, his career. He said he quickly left the O'Brien get-together with his photographer wife, Michelle, after the fight, TMZ said. The showdown occurred a few months after another big public argument between Nick and his dad. Nick began screaming at his father in front of other diners at the posh Giorgio Baldi restaurant in Santa Monica Canyon. A worker there confirmed to the Post. Nick's sister, Romy, a 28-year-old magazine writer and aspiring actress, reportedly found their parents' bodies around 3:40 p.m. Sunday. She told investigators at the time that her brother should be a suspect because he is dangerous, sources said. And Nick was nabbed hours later and charged with the murders. Here's a picture of Nick and his dad. It's a good looking kid at that time. He was being held without bail, reportedly on suicide watch. Rob and Michelle also had another son, Jake, 34, who worked as a TV reporter in Houston and hosted a podcast on the LA Dodgers. The famous dad, previously married to former sitcom star Penny Marshall, also adopted his ex's daughter, Tracy Marshall Reiner. I came from the greatest family ever, Tracy, 61, told NBC News Monday. I don't know what to say. I'm in shock. This looks like they're at the maybe Sundance Film Festival. Who knows? Somewhere cold. And unsmiling Nick last publicly appeared with his parents and siblings, Jake and Romy, when they all walked the red carpet September 9th at the Spinal Tap 2 The End Continues premiere at the Egyptian Theater in Los Angeles. I was there. Oh my God. I was at that screening. They did a Q&A after. In fact, I can't confirm anything. I think I might have sat with the family because they brought a dog and they very much were like, anyways, I don't want to speculate, but I was at that screening. The wayward son had been battling drug addiction for more than half his life, ending up broke and homeless, sleeping on the street at times, he said in interviews. At one point in 2015, he founded an environmental nonprofit called Save Malibu, but it didn't last a year. This is Conan O'Brien with Rob
Albert
Reiner.
Brooks.
And Albert Brooks. Oh my God. Yeah. These poor people did everything to help this kid, said the family friend who told the Post that Nick was balking about getting back to a treatment facility. Those futile efforts included Rob pulling out all the stops to help Nick produce the 2015 semi-autobiographical movie Being Charlie, including by using his own years of experience to direct it and calling on Hollywood connections to pack the credits. But his spoiled son was ungrateful, a cast member said. The pair had at least one vicious argument in front of the cast and crew during filming, with them just going off on each other. Stunt performer Eric Aude told Page 6, you could tell Nick was spoiled and Rob was just sick of his shit. I just assumed, whether this is correct or not, this kid must be pushing all his buttons. Audie said, Rob can't do anything right. Nick's a Nepo baby, a spoiled kid to the T. Any goodwill sown between the awkward father-son duo during the project could not overcome Nick's longstanding, simmering resentment of his father, the son of equally famous late comic genius, Carl Reiner. Here's a picture of the home in Brentwood. Okay. I think Nick really resented his dad, or maybe hated himself for not being as talented, prolific, or beloved as his dad or granddad, a source told Page 6. 2 months before Rob's death, the director was asked by interviewer Piers Morgan for which of his films he wanted to be remembered. People have their favorites. They, and the cliche, we love all our children, even the bad ones, Rob said. Nick's resentment of his father apparently boiled. Oh my God. These ads are almost like reading the Film Threat website. Nick's resentment of his father apparently boiled over into something even darker, even before it took a deadly turn over the weekend. Look at this recent photo of him. He looks like a broken man.
The sadness, yeah.
A broken man wearing really nice clothes. Weird. Okay, this is not the first time their son has been violent, the family friend said the day before the parents' slangs. I know of another incident a few years back with Nick, but I won't say more than that. I just never thought it would get to this point. It is such a nightmare. Nick admitted in 2018 that he once trashed his parents' home during a meth-fueled rage. It's not much of a story. I got totally spun out on the uppers. I think it was coke, and something else, and I was up for days on end. Nick told the Dopey podcast. I started punching out some things in my guest house. A former
It's never
class,
just a bender like that.
yeah, a former classmate of Nick's told the Post on Monday that she instantly knew he was the suspect in his parents' murder when she heard the news. A security guard hired by the community to patrol the family's ritzy Brentwood hood because of the looting after Palisades fire in January told the Post that Nick had been living with his parents for at least the past year. You could tell something was a little off with him, the worker said of the son. He's a strange individual, you know. My God. And this is from that Spinal Tap 2 premiere. It's weird that you know, the first movie Rob Reiner ever directed was Spinal Tap, and the last movie Rob Reiner ever directed was Spinal Tap 2. Very sad. Very sad indeed. I mean, more is going to come out, but this was a ticking time bomb and very tragic. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Oh, same as yesterday. It just gets worse and worse when you just find out the thing that resonates with me is this, he knew he was in danger. He knew something horrible could and would probably happen. And what do you do? What could you have done? Could you have stopped this? Addiction is a horrible thing. And, I think he's hit his rock bottom.
Well, rock bottom, yeah, when you murder your parents.
Yeah, and you're sitting in a jail cell without access to the drugs that
and
got
then
you.
Who knows, the drugs that pushed him to that point, he might not even remember what he'd done. It's a tragedy. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm really just torn up about the whole thing. Like, look, I didn't know I didn't know Rob Reiner, know him only from his work, but I feel like I've known his work my whole life, having grown up with All in the Family, observed his success in the 80s and 90s, becoming a accomplished film director across genres, and then always, maybe didn't agree with every political take. Doesn't matter. He was a passionate individual. He had a sense of humor about himself. A lot of people that comment on politics don't always have a sense of humor about themselves. Rob Reiner did. So I'm going to leave it there. It's just very sad. And
I mean, to everyone who's commenting, I don't care how much I disagree with the person. No one deserves to be murdered, period.
Yeah. It's very sad. Let's go to your comments.
Bill is Preston Esquire. Most folks can handle alcohol and drugs. Some folks can't. Substance abuse is just a different world.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing heroin.
And opiates.
Fentanyl. Yeah. The fentanyl is...
Well, it's the addictiveness of fentanyl that's the worst. Stuff to watch. California used to incarcerate for narcotics.
Yes, they used to do that, or put people that were mentally ill in institutions. And there's a movie that when that came out, they ended those institutions over abuse. It's called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that movie contributed to, like, just let's dump the mental institutions.
Well, it used to be that when you got convicted of drugs, you were given an option. You could go to jail or you can go to treatment. But because we decriminalized drug use, then there was no need to go to rehab anymore.
Well,
and
that was the mistake. They never ever should have decriminalized drug use. I'm sorry. And as much as, like, initially when like they made marijuana legal, I'm like, oh, they should decriminalize marijuana, do it in your own home, whatever. I think that was a mistake. because it was the slippery slope. And now you can't go anywhere in LA without smelling weed or seeing people high on the streets or the tent cities.
Chicken Wing
Anyways.
91 for 4.99. Theo Von said it best. Addiction is more powerful than love. Yeah.
Thank you, Chicken Wing.
KG Jung definitely says something. The family immediately pointed the finger to one of their own. Yeah.
They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
Dark Knight Returns. Take from someone who has an addict for a sibling. They'll hit rock bottom multiple times. Never willing to go to a facility in a common trademark. Never going to a facility is a common trademark of someone not willing to work to get help.
Thank you, Garth Knight. Yeah, it's and I'm sorry for your family there. I've been fortunate that no one in my family has had to struggle with this issue. So I'm just lucky. I feel I'm lucky in that sense. It's not none of us has ever really been into drugs. Cocktails, yes. Drugs, no. In fact, no one in my family smokes. None of us smoke. And it's like because I did not grow up around cigarette smoke. Whenever I go to Vegas and everyone smokes, I get sick. Like I can't handle cigarette smoke because I was never around it. So I'm very fortunate. I know that that's not yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know how much I love to drink at parties.
Yeah, well, Hans Euchre outs me. Chris is the weird one in the family. He just doesn't see it. I am kind of everyone in my family is pretty normal. They have normal jobs and they're all very productive and hard workers. And I am the odd one that chose this weird career. So you're not wrong, Hans. Not wrong. But my heart goes out to everyone who struggles. I've looked at a lot of podcasts and people commenting on Rob Reiner, and Megyn Kelly had a recent show and revealed her sister struggled with drugs and ended up dying as a result. It's something that's as bad for the family as the person who's dealing with it. This is the ultimate expression of that, like attacking your own loved ones. So my heart goes out to them. I don't know what else to say. There's really nothing more. It's
a bad situation all around.
Yeah. And we're going to end it there on a down note.
Yeah.
Avatar's not great. There you go.
And what's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the funeral. Join us tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time for our Star Trek funeral and be a part of it. Post your eulogy on social media. Hashtag Star Trek is dead. Hashtag Star Trek funeral. And by the way, I have searched the hashtag. People are posting their eulogies. I have a tip for you. If you want us to watch your eulogy, someone did one that's 15 minutes, folks.
Yeah.
1 minute or less. Your assignment, 1 minute or less. Star Trek, your eulogy for how much you love Star Trek and you're sad that the current Trek isn't really Star Trek. It's a dead franchise. Give us your feelings. Shorter the better. We'll feature as many as we can. And join us for it's literally a cavalcade of YouTube stars. With Critical Drinker, Gary from Nerdrotic, among others. So join us for that all-day event. Angry Badger will be here. It's going to be me, Alan, and Angry Badger the whole time, and we'll rotate in other people. Everyone from Versus is going to pop on for a bit as we say goodbye to Star Trek.
Yeah. It'll be a fun kind of sadness.
Will it? I don't know.
He's dead, Jim.
Don't miss it. Funeral for a Franchise. We'll be here tomorrow. A global event. That wraps it up for us today. And oh, by the way, want to remind people, we will be continuing our live streams through the holidays. Now, they may not be 2 hours. They'll be shorter, but we're doing not only a show on Christmas Eve, we're doing a Star Trek Yule log that will go for 24 hours. Here's a preview. Keep it on your screen all day during Christmas. Look for that. And we'll have a special on Christmas Eve.
Michael.
These are just reminders because people are still watching.
The nostalgia.
That's right. Anyways, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow and Friday and through the holidays. We will be here. I'm going to post a lot of videos over the holidays of members only videos. So if you are a member or thinking of getting someone a gift, become a member of the channel. It supports us. We appreciate it. And I have like a backlog of videos I'll be posting for members only. So check those out.
By the way, you can gift membership to Film Threat to your friends and your family.
You can do that. You can.
Believe me, they will appreciate it.
Yeah. Cool. So see you tomorrow and Friday. And Alan, what do you have to say?
Let's get out of here.